Graduated, elevated, now it's my time to shine, yeah, let's go. Major moves, power moves.
Hello and welcome to phdhardtalk. Thank you so much for wanting to have a conversation with me and discuss your research and share some advice, give you that source. So, and I know I butchered your name previously, so I'll get it right now. So thank you so much, Oluwatoyosi, for your time and for sharing your research. Could you please introduce your research to the world, what you do, where you are in the world, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Nice try with my name though. Yeah.
So
it's it's Oluwatoyosi. I'm Nigerian and I'm currently a master's student, a third-year master's student at the Chinese Academy of Science in China. And I'm working with the Institute of Botany on sorghum, genetics and genomics. Yeah, I think that's pretty all about me at this moment.
Excellent.
And I'm glad to be here with you.
Oh, thank you so much. So I guess first things first is you're looking at, and I had to learn how to pronounce this word on, thank you so much, Google. Yeah, how to pronounce this word. So sorghum, could you please just, for the world, just introduce what it is and what the benefits are and why you're finding interest in looking at this plant for a year?
Okay. I think I've gotten this question a lot of times from people asking me why sorghum? What's so interesting about sorghum? So yeah, as I've said, I'm from Nigeria, and sorghum is one of the first. Okay, let me just put one of the biggest or largest produced crop in the world at this point.
Okay.
That's after rice, maize, millets, barley, then you talk about sorghum. So these are like the big five now in the world when it comes to crops in the world. Yeah. And what makes sorghum interesting to me is the fact that, number one, this crop is from Africa. Like it's, it was first domesticated in Africa and East Africa to be precise now. But my country now, Nigeria, is like the highest producer in Africa. And we're the third largest in the world. So why not sorghum?
Oh,
and
wow.
Apart from this, And unlike the other parts of the world, other continents in the world where this crop is majorly used for animal feed or used in beer production, like alcohol, in Africa, it's majorly used as food. So in the continent, different parts of Africa, from the north to the east to the west, we use sorghum as food. So there are different end uses to it in Africa because it's like unlike the other part of the world where they see it as like a poor man's food because the way it is, and maybe because we Africans, we take this a lot, but to us, it's like a staple food in Africa. Because it's from Africa, this crop can kind of adapt to so many stress conditions, and it's cultivated all over Africa. So from from the desert kind of vegetation to the rainforest kind of vegetation, this crop can still grow well. It's still doing very well. So it can adapt to so many things, which kind of makes it very interesting to me. Like if a crop can do all these things, then we should pay more attention to it. Yeah. We should focus our attention to it. So I think that is one of the reasons why I've decided to take up sorghum and let's see where this goes.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And I guess, in my research, I wanted to find out what different parts of the world call it. So since you've mentioned that it's a big crop that's planted in Nigeria, and Nigeria is a big country, anyway, based on research. So I found out that, in India, they call it Indian millet. And in other parts, it's great millet. So what's it called in Nigeria then?
Well, different parts of Nigeria, depending on what it's being used for, we call it different things. Okay. Like in my tribe now, I'm from Yoruba tribe. Yeah. We can make ogi. Ogi is a form of a porridge, like a pap porridge from sorghum. So we call it ogi. That is the local name. And when it comes to the alcohol part of things, there's something we call burukutu. It's the alcohol made from sorghum. So yeah, different things from this crop, just like different parts have their own different local names from depending on the end uses there.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So basically, if it was a human being, if we said that the plant is a human being, it's just like names to do with character. Like you're called Oluwatoyosi, so that means something in your Yoruba tribe.
Yes.
Quite interesting. And I found out, I guess the other word that I found was that it's called Oshalu. So that makes sense because I was quite intrigued in terms of the list of names for one plant. It's got so many names. It was quite diverse. And I thought, oh my gosh, let me ask the question. So in terms of your journey then, you've mentioned to me that you're from Nigeria and at the moment you're currently in Beijing in China. So I'm thinking, why would one move from Nigeria, whether you're in Lagos or in Ibadan or the north? I think Yorubas are from Ibadan. So let's say you're from Ibadan and you're going all the way there. Why?
well, okay. I'll say I got a fellowship. That's why I came to China, because I got a fellowship to come to China to study. So I picked China, and when I finished my undergrad in Nigeria, and I applied for fellowships and scholarships and postgrad opportunity, and honestly I applied to just one. And because I'm interested in plant, I did plant science and biotechnology for my undergrad, and okay, I still want to continue working on plant. I won't even pick up anything outside plant science because I can't undo seeing blood or any other thing like animal set of things. So I knew I wanted to do plants. So and at that point I knew I wanted to go to grad school. And I started looking for opportunities because, and another thing I knew, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to get a scholarship or a fellowship to cover me, because it's super expensive to do all these things on your own. So when I saw the opportunity to come to China, yeah, why not? And I got a very, very, very awesome professor to supervise me. So yeah, I think it's a win-win. So I came to China, not because I didn't come to China at first because I knew I was going to work on sorghum or something. No, that wasn't why I applied in China. So I came in, but then I realized, oh, I'll be working on sorghum because my professor is working on sorghum. And then that's how the interest started. And yeah, and here we are studying sorghum.
Just like that. No, I love it. So, you know, in terms of your research, and as you've rightly mentioned that, you know, your supervisor or professor, that's their field. So when we're now thinking of the wider community, like you've mentioned that you're from Nigeria and it's a staple food, essentially. So how does that benefit the community back in Nigeria? And I mean the whole of Nigeria, not specifically certain parts. You know, how does your research help a normal person like me? I mean, I like plantain and I would think plantain is my favorite thing. But if I was researching it, I'll be thinking, how does that help people? So how does your research help people?
Yeah, as I've said, working on stress, plant stress response. And as I've said, that sorghum can adapt to so many stress conditions, which makes it a very unique crop on its own. But in my country now, even though we have the numbers, the high production numbers, I think we're lacking in the science area of things now. We just focus more on the production of the quality of the quantity now, the numbers and everything. But what about the quality now of what we produce and the seed we're producing? We're still passing seed from one farmer to another, not having enough seeds that have been worked on now. Well, there's a lot of factors affecting this, like from the government aspect of things to not having strong research facilities to do all this kind of molecular works there. So, but I think with my research now and being able to discover genes that are related to plant stress that can be worked on using that can be introduced now to the plants, like tolerance genes that we can work on to improve sorghum. I feel if my research now, my discoveries now in my research can be applied with other people to working on this kind of thing, stress response, I feel in my country, what we're producing, it's so small. We have the capacity to do more, like much more in sorghum production in Africa, in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And with that kind of production, we won't have to rely on just petroleum oil. We can do so many things like biofuel, we can aqua production, so many things can be done when we have this kind of things going on. And we have crops that can adapt to so many stress conditions, not just one. Just imagine a crop now that can adapt to heat. It can also adapt to drought. At the same time, can also adapt to salt. At the same time, maintaining high production, like high yield. Wouldn't that be so cool? You won't have to lose crops to so many things going on at the same time. So I think we have a lot of potentials if we can actually work on this crop in Africa, like using all our discoveries from researchers and using them now on this crop. We have a lot of things that we could actually achieve, especially when it comes to food security in Africa.
Okay, so I guess I have two questions. I will start with the local person. You know, I've asked you, how does it benefit the local person back in Nigeria? And the first question is, I'm a local farmer, I'm producing to eat with my family and to potentially send my kids to school. So how does your scientific knowledge land on my land and my head for it to make sense? Because I only produce to sustain myself. I've never really had an opportunity to think big, and I don't understand how, you know, bio oil works, and it's not my thing. I'm not interested. How does that, you know, how does your your research come into play and help me? How will you educate me to change my mind, to think bigger and to see the big picture? I mean, you look so excited when you're talking about your research. Even me, I would literally go into a lab now. I'll start playing with the seeds. But you know,
yeah,
we have to think about the local person. So how does that work?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Number one, it's not just in one person efforts now, like bringing it down to the farmers now, like the local farmer cultivating sorghum, maize, and everything. We want to tell them, oh, this crop has a lot of potential. This crop can help you if you do it this way or do it that way. So now with my knowledge, we've been able to, let's say, we've been able to like generate seeds, sorghum lines that can adapt to so many stress conditions. Now we take this seed now through the government, after getting governmental approval now, taking it, introducing it to the farmers directly. Now, by the time they plant this seed and they say, oh yeah, we're getting high yield from this. Oh, this seed, it's tolerant to this particular stress condition. Oh, there's a flood coming and I don't have to worry because yeah, this sorghum is still going to do well. I don't have to like think about the losses I'm going to get at the end of everything. So by the time I think they compare all these things, you compare them to these local farmers and you don't just that, oh, it's going to do this, it's going to do this. But by the time through practice, I think when you practicalize things to people and they see it themselves, they tend to like understand better. So when you show them and you introduce this seed to them and they see the yield from this seed, and they also see the advantages now when it comes to like the ability to like tolerate different stress conditions. I think they will definitely accept this and be like, yeah, this is really good for us. And at the same time, sees that that you don't have to think about the quality now. Nothing is being lost at the same time. So I think it's a win-win. I'm not sure if I'm really answering your question, but am I?
I would say you're very passionate. So I'll move on to the next question, which is, you know, government. You know, you're saying that you will communicate and you will educate local government to say this is a great thing, it's amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know how governments are, and we know that we have a budget. So if you're saying currently scientifically we don't have any research labs that can accommodate A, B, C, D, we do have them, but there's only a few.
Not enough.
Yeah, not enough. So you go in there, right, and saying, we know that Nigeria, you've got a lot of oil, so there's money there, but that's a conversation for another day. So when we're now looking at you're thinking, right, we need more labs, we need A, B, C, D. If we have a lot of oil and there's high levels of unemployment, there's people with graduate degrees who are selling at the local market, how is this going to be possible? How are you going to convince local government? This is your 3-minute pitch. Go.
Oh, okay. well, I was going to start with telling you that we actually have a problem with that in Africa generally. Letting governments realize that introducing GMO plants or plants that have been genetically modified to adapt to stress conditions, because they keep thinking when we introduce this kind of seeds to the market, we are kind of introducing foreign DNAs into the human genome. So there's this kind of scares and people getting worried about all these things, but then they need to realize that it is not. So I will tell the government now, I will let them realize using scientific fact and prove that this thing can actually benefit a lot of people. We can achieve more by exporting produce from this crop. We can generate more revenue for the government at the same time.
The question I'm asking is, I'm local government, you're set in front of me, you've got 3 minutes to convince me that this plant, according to research, can do A, B, C, D, and I need to open my purse and give you some money. You've got 3 minutes to convince me, is what I'm asking you. We understand that generically, there are issues, fundamental issues. However, now is your opportunity, because if someone in local government watches this video on YouTube and they think, actually, that's a good idea, you've got 3 minutes to convince them. Go.
Okay. I will say, with the facts and the data as we have, with our current production of sorghum in Africa and Nigeria's data that we still have a lot of things we can do to become number one in the world. So to become number one in the world, there's still a lot of things to do. We need funds from you to be able to get more work done, from the genetic aspect of things, molecular biologic aspect of things. We need to invest more on this crop, because now we're fighting with climate change and everything going on. But with adequate research to this crop, we can still generate more revenue for the government. We can also generate more jobs for people at the same time by introducing this and all the side benefits that are attached to it. I would say with this crop, if we invest more now in sorghum in Africa, ultimately, if our petrol finish, we can still rely back on this one day. If everything goes off with the petrol that we currently have, with sorghum now, when it comes to biofuel, with the potential of this crop in biofuel, we can use this in biofuel industry. We can use this in our exporting industry too, exporting beer, exporting food to different parts of the world from what we get from this crop. So I guess that's what I'm going to say. And we'd love you to invest, so please invest in us. I guess that's what I would say.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for putting yourself on the spot. I guess in terms of... I wasn't
expecting that.
you know, this is PhD hard talk, so we have to, you know, strike while the iron's still hot, otherwise we'll lose the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, from what you're saying, there is, you know, benefits to the crop, you know, and it's through education we learn, and from verbal, if you can convince me verbally, by the time I read the numbers, I'm interested. But if you can't convince me verbally, like I said, to the local farmer, I know that it's quite difficult to penetrate information to somebody who doesn't want to know it. So, it, you know, this is sharing. So hopefully somebody somewhere will call you in that sense. So in terms of the next question, I guess, that I have is, you know, we know the benefits, and you've mentioned a bit about sustainability, which is the bio oil. Are there any other benefits if we're looking at doing better for our planet? At the moment, we know that we're in a crisis, literally, and we need to do better for our planet. Our home at the moment is in a dire situation. So what are the other benefits of this crop?
Well, yeah, I would say the major benefit is the role it has to play in food security in the world. And yeah, in the world generally, and especially in Africa, where we are the one having the problem now with food security, and with the increase in population in the world. Now, I think in the world, the population is projected to reach 10 billion by 2050. So that's a lot of people that need to be fed. And seeing what even happened with COVID now, the whole thing really affected food security, to food production. So the potential of this crop now in helping when it comes to food security, it's very huge. What maize can't do, because now maize is like the largest produced crop in the world, maize. And what maize can't do, places maize can't adapt, can't thrive, sorghum can. So which it's something that we should really find intriguing, and like, yeah, this is something cool that we should focus on. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, so I think the impact of sorghum now in food security is one major thing that I'm trying to like focus on, and at the same time share with everybody. Like, there's a huge opportunity in this crop. Okay,
so I get the food part, right? COVID-19 happened. I get that there's the oil. What else? Because I'm thinking the byproduct. If we plant so many, right? Where are the byproducts going? What is going to happen with them? Can we use them as manure? You know, I'm looking at Africa, because you keep going back to Africa. Is that something that we've been educated on in terms of what we can do with it? Because if it's just lying around and it's causing issues to the planet, we don't want it.
Yeah.
So what are the other byproducts? What are we doing with them? They're beneficial to us.
Yeah.
No, we don't want them.
Yeah. Okay, now we've talked about the food. We've talked about uses in making biofuel. We can also use this crop now when it comes to fodder, making fodder, and animal feed too. Yeah. So very useful in that area. Unlike Africa, where it is used as food, in the US, it's majorly as animal feed. So that is like the major thing. Also in alcohol production too, ethanol. So these are other byproducts that are like gaining attention now when it comes to sorghum.
Okay, so I'm not hearing anything that will help me, that will want me to think this is an amazing plan, because alcohol, I mean, there's a pandemic in Europe. We drink for breakfast, well, some of us. And I'm thinking, do we really need alcohol in Africa and all the poverty? Like, do we need people to be addicted to alcohol?
Oh, there's a lot of countries produce different beers now in cold, because they use different local beers now from sorghum. So many countries in Africa, if not all.
That's a good thing.
And yeah. And I think a country.
No, think about the addiction.
Yeah.
Think about the addiction. Like if we were to look at the UK and the US, right? There's so much alky that's available. Even non-alcoholic alcohol is available. But if you look at the addiction rates and how much it costs the government to help us to get out of our addictions, it's a lot of money. Now we're looking at Africa, the global south. Let's look at the global south. Is that something that we need for people to be addicted to alcohol?
Of course not.
So why are we promoting
yeah, we were just saying these are one of the things, the byproduct from the crop. But another thing is a country in, I think it's South Africa though. They've also used sorghum in malt. I don't know if you know malt drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a non-alcoholic drink. So it's also part of the byproduct, not just the alcohol now.
I'll leave you with that one. You will ponder, because my concern.
I understand what you're trying to say.
The
Yeah,
governments, they're spending so much money. If we look at the UK currently on addiction, not the drugs, but the alky itself, it's a high number. Yeah. And you know, every weekend when people go out, we call it out, and they get really drunk, the NHS is suffering. So I'm thinking, right, the countries that I'm focused on in my head, not to name and shame, some of them don't even have ambulances. You know, you can't call an ambulance. So if somebody is that drunk, oh my God, my trust.
That's true. That's true. That's true. I wish there's something we can do about that. but that's really true.
Yeah, but anyway, to go back to your research, right? Next steps. So you're doing your master's, and you know, are you thinking to do a PhD? Where are you in your head?
Well, I'm graduating this June.
Excellent.
I'm actually defending. I'm defending my thesis next month, and I'm graduating this June. And I will be joining the Department of Biology at the University of Pennsylvania this fall for my PhD. I hope to work on plant stress. I'm not sure if I'll get to work on sorghum yet, but I know I'll be doing something relating to environmental stress.
No, that is amazing. And advice to somebody who's currently in Nigeria and thinking, actually, I've never thought of a fellowship. I didn't know that such opportunities were there. What advice do you have? And you've also gone through the application process for a PhD. So, you know, some people have a tough path, some people have a smooth path. What advice do you have for somebody who's thinking in their head and thinking, I don't have money?
Well, I think I would tell them not to be afraid to ask questions. That's one thing. For me, I did not know that it's possible for me to actually apply for a master's degree without a transcript. If I didn't ask, I wouldn't know. They would have said, oh, you need to get your certificate first, you need to get your transcript first. But I decided to ask the graduate coordinator, and she said, oh, you can apply as long as your certificate and your transcript will be ready before the resumption. That was all I needed. So I would tell them not to be afraid to ask questions. That's why there's always a graduate coordinator in each department. Ask them questions. So find out information if they have funding, what funding, which one is open for international students. So that's one thing. That's one major advice I would tell people. Don't be afraid to ask questions, especially when it's relating to graduate school, funding, and anything.
Okay, and the next step, I guess, in terms of your application process, and you've seen on Twitter, on TikTok, it's always a burning question. What is it like to apply for a PhD?
Oh God, that is a long journey, a long, stressful journey. A lot of things, a lot of learning during the process too. At the same, I won't say it's an easy journey, because a lot of things happen. Sending emails to different professors, you read a paper, you see a name, you're like, oh, this person is doing something cool and it's related. You want to send an email, and it can be heartbreaking too at the same time. especially when the professors will tell you, oh, I don't have funding. I'll be like, oh, okay, so I have to go look for another person. Or professor will tell you, oh, my lab is filled up, I'm not accepting student, or I'm going on sabbatical. There's even a professor who I really, really love his work, and so I'm going on sabbatical. Someone said I'm going to retire, and there's a lot of rejection along the way, but that doesn't really define us. That's one thing. The rejection, they make me stronger in a way. And I kept getting a lot of no's from a lot of people. And there was even a professor that told me, said, I don't really recommend students for admission, especially international students for admission. They don't have what it takes to succeed in our unique academic system. Oh my God. I got that from a professor, and it's kind of heartbreaking. At the same time, I also got from a professor that told me, wow, you have a very, very nice CV. I think your CV is very, very competitive. It would be a shame for any program not to have you in the school. And I'm like, okay, 2 different professors, 2 different schools, telling me different things. So there's a lot of heartbreaks along the way, but keep staying strong and keep applying to get one.
Okay, I like that. And I guess the burning question that I have, and I've asked a few of my colleagues who've come on PhD Hard Talk for the next series, is do you, in your own opinion, believe that getting higher education, it does break the poverty cycle for your family, or do you think it's no longer a thing?
Well, for my family, I think it's a good thing. Yeah, it's the positive aspect of things, because in my family, I'll be the first person to be going for a PhD. So, and I think it's more like an encouragement for other people in my family. Oh, she's doing it. Yeah, she can also. My baby brother, I was talking to him about 3 or 4 days ago, and we're talking about plans about masters, PhD, and undergrad. He was telling me plans already of masters and everything. So I guess this influence of when there is somebody doing it's I can also do this. So it's kind of worked that way, like, oh, this person is actually doing a PhD. It's possible. I can also do this. It's not that bad. I'm also interested in this part. At the same time, you become kind of a role model today at the same time. So it's a positive thing in my family, even though my mom still don't have any clue of what I'm working on, but it's okay. She's my greatest cheerleader.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
No, thank you very much. And I guess, the final question, which I ask everybody, and I'm sure you've seen on the videos as well. Do you think PhD Hard Talk is beneficial in research, and that a lot more people should come on PhD Hard Talk? Or you're thinking, do you know what? No, stop it, Noma. It's not working. Call it a day, walk away. Thank you. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's a good platform in the sense that giving this opportunity for people to talk about their research. So it's like, I have been working on sorghum for 3 years, and now this is the first time I'm talking to somebody, apart from other professors during my PhD interviews now. Like, I want to talk about my research like this. It's like more like I'm defending my research. Like, yeah, this crop is very, very important. So I think it's good. It makes you think about what you're doing, the impact of what you're doing in the society, and the benefits. So I think you can't just say you're doing a research if your research has no impact on anything. So what's not the benefit of you doing it? So, but you being able to communicate that impact of your research now, it's a good thing, and having a platform to do that. So it's also good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I think more people should come, actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm loving it. Thank you so much. So I'd like to take time to say thank you so much. Oh, I have to get this right. Hold on. Thank you so much, Oluwatoyosi Adaramodu, for your time.
Oh, nice.
Today.
Okay.
I wish you well in your PhD, and thank you so much for discussing your journey from, MSc going to PhD, and also encouraging people back at home to literally look at the globe as if it's one country, and to travel for knowledge and share and take it back if they want to, or develop it further. I mean, we look at Elon Musk. He's like literally doing the most in this world. So why can't we, as scientists, and he's just an engineer. Let's start there. So, we're scientists. So thank you so much for sharing your work, and also sharing your wise words in terms of, being a role model, because it is tough to be a role model. But if you're resilient, motivated, which you are, you go far. And keep it up and keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is amazing. It's not just your brother, now it's the world, because they've seen this video. So thank you so much. Remember, project dissemination to the world. Let's share our knowledge in fun, jokes, laughter, maybe a few challenging questions here and there, but let's have fun. Yeah. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's build a community, and let's get to 1K subscribers on YouTube, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Graduated, elevated. Now it's my time to shine. Yeah, let's go. Major moves, power moves. Take it to the top one time, non-stop.